Hey everybody, my name is Mike Campbell, and I love hockey. More specifically, NHL hockey, even more specifically than that, the Tampa Bay Lightning, baby, the Bolts, Stanley Cup champions, right there, yeah, that's right. And before I start getting all the bandwagon comments, you're only a fan because, they just won and all that jazz, let me show you something. This is a little tiny jersey. As you can see, that's not going to fit me now. And that's because I got this when I was 10 years old. Got it for my 10th birthday. Number 19, Campbell. That's how it is. But yeah, so there's my proof. All the way back in 2007 was when I got this jersey, when I was turning 10 years old. So definitely not a bandwagon fan. I went through the rough years, basically right after we got Stamkos, or right before we got Stamkos, to honestly about like 7 years ago was a pretty rough, couple of years there. Obviously right now, it's awesome. No complaints now. It's friggin' sweet. And basically what this video is I'm kind of introducing myself. I guess I love pond hockey. I love hiking. I love being in the outdoors. Of course, I love video games. And what I'm doing here, what I'm doing right now is I want to start a series of videos very heavily inspired / we'll say copied is probably a better word for it, by Steve Dangle. His link will be down in the description. What he does, he's a big Leaf fan. So basically what he does is he makes a reaction video after every single Leafs game. And it looks really fun. I'm going to use my collegiate knowledge that I got from studying video production for 3-ish years to try and make something really good. This is about as bare bones as you're going to see it. I'm going to be improving stuff. I'm going to be getting better lights. I'm going to be getting better equipment. Eventually I'm going to have a 2-camera setup. So basically I'm going to do the same thing just for the Lightning. I'm going to do it for my team. Obviously right now no games have happened. Games are happening later this week. Very excited about that. Wednesday, January 13th cannot come fast enough. I'm currently recording this on Friday. I'm so excited to finally get some NHL hockey back. Finally to start defending the crown, the Stanley Cup championship. We're out here. Like I said, obviously there's no games right now, but I wanted to put out a video kind of telling you guys a little bit about myself and then going into how the Lightning look for this season. Really, the team is basically the same. We lost Verhaeghe to free agency. He went to Florida. We unfortunately lost Braden Coburn and Seti Paquette to Ottawa Senators for 2 guys that are going to be on the LTIR. Those being Marian Gaborik and Anders Nilsson, I believe is how you say his name. Those 2 are both going to be on the LTIR, along with, unfortunately, Kucherov is dealing with some kind of injury. He had surgery on December 29th, and he will be missing the entirety of the regular season. We may get him back for the playoffs, we may not, but we will see. A little silver lining there is being able to put his $9.5 million hit onto the LTIR did move enough space so that we were able to sign the big 3 RFAs that we had this offseason. Those being Anthony Cirelli, Eric Chernak, and the most important, in my opinion, Mikhail Sergachev. He looks like he's going to be Hedman in about 2 years. Hedman, in my opinion, obviously it's biased. It's a biased opinion, but in my opinion, Hedman is the best defenseman in the league, and there's going to be a lot of people that agree with that. But one good thing, one bright spot right now is that Stamkos is back. He's been a full participant in camp, which started on January 3rd, but he's been a full participant, which is really good because with Kuch out, we're going to need some scoring. We still have Point, looks like he's in full health. We're basically going to be icing the same Stanley Cup winning team, but we're swapping out Kucherov for Stamkos. Stamkos is not Kucherov. They're very different players. Kucherov is more of a passer. He's more of a play facilitator, whereas Stamkos has just an amazing shot, and he's more of a sniper. He's going to be the guy scoring. But luckily, I think Point can transition more into the Kucherov-like role where he's the kind of the passer and the facilitator. So I still feel very good about our chances. And anybody who doesn't feel good about the Lightning being good, you're just lying to yourself. I mean, it's still a ridiculously stacked roster, and the fact that it's still as stacked as it is after winning the cup and having the flat cap and having to sign all the guys just goes to show that Julien Brisebois has learned well from his mentor, Stevie Y, who's over in Detroit. So the first game for the Lightning is going to be on the Wednesday, January 13th, and it's actually going to be a home game, which is really cool. This is going to be, they're going to raise up the Stanley Cup banner and all that fun stuff. And I believe there will be fans in attendance. They had plans to have fans in the arena. Obviously, a very limited capacity. I don't know what percentage, but I wouldn't think it would be more than 20%. I feel like sports complexes and arenas usually have a pretty good amount of space where you can do, 30, 40, 50% capacity and really social distance, wear the masks, everything that you need to do to be safe. I feel like fans should be allowed in and it can be done safely, I think. But we'll see how that goes. Very excited for this game. It's against Chicago, so not a super strong opponent, especially because currently they have Jonathan Toews is going to be missing a little bit. I'm not sure how much. And then Kirby Dach, if you guys didn't see, got injured in the last exhibition game of the World Juniors tournament, and he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months, which essentially means he's out for the regular season. Not too difficult of an opponent for the Lightning to start off the season. We'll see. I hope they win. If they lose after me saying all this stuff, that's gonna look pretty bad. I'm gonna go over the lines that we've seen in camp so far. They're pretty much what you expect, honestly. If you've watched any of the Lightning, if you paid any attention to the Lightning, this is basically what you expected. So our top line right now is Palat on the left, Point in the middle, and Stamkos on the right. It's literally the first line, just Kucherov and Stamkos. I've been swapped. Which is what I just said about the team. And then our second line is Killorn, Cirelli, and Johnson. Now, Killorn and Cirelli, they work really well together, and it's really cool to me that Killorn's number is 17 and Cirelli's number is 71, and they're like a dynamic duo. They're two of the better defensive forwards in the league, in my opinion. Obviously, once again, biased. Look at the jersey. I'm biased. But they just work really well together, and they don't get scored on very much. So it's a pretty good second line. And then the third line, which is a line I'm really excited about. I love this line, man. This was the best line for us in the playoffs and will continue to be the best line for us, I think. And this is the third line of Goodrow, Gord, and Coleman. This line, they're like little wrecking balls running around. Except for Goodrow's pretty big, but the other two are fairly small. They're just so good at getting pucks deep and beating the other team to the puck. They're fast, they're tough, they will outwork you to death. They will win every puck battle. That's our momentum shifting line. Doesn't matter if the game's going bad, they are going to go hard at 110% every time they're on the ice. And then our fourth line is where things get a little shaky. We're not really sure what we're looking at. We've got Maroon on the left, Stevens in the middle, Mitchell Stevens, of course. And then on the right, we've got a couple options. We've got Alex Volkov, which I've been waiting for him to break in and really make a huge impact for quite a while, actually. I've been hearing his name forever, and he hasn't really done much at the NHL level. Maybe this year is his chance to prove that. We've got one Russian sitting on the LTIR. Maybe this Russian will step in and steal a bigger spot for himself. And then the other option we have for that right side on that fourth line is Matthew Joseph, who had a really good year a couple years ago, and then last year just wasn't doing all that much. He definitely can. He's got the wheels. He's got the skill. He's just gotta do it. And then moving on to the defenseman. This is where the Lightning have such a good offense, and I feel like that's what people know them for. But when you look at the defensive core, that's a damn good defensive core. There's not too many teams in the league that can, like, on paper, beat this defense. I really doubt that. The only one that really comes to mind maybe is, like, Vegas. St. Louis isn't bad, but then this, I mean, just listen to the names I'm about to read out to you. Victor Hedman, Conn Smythe winner. In my opinion, best defenseman in the league. On the left for the first pairing. And then on the right, we've got Jan Rutta. Obviously, no one knows who that is except me. He's a good defenseman. He's big. He's right-handed. He's a right shot. He complements Hedman well because while Hedman likes to streak up and get into the offense, Rutta will sit back a little bit, let Hedman do his thing, and make sure that there's somebody back to protect the net if something goes awry. The second pairing is Mikhail Sergachev and Ryan McDonough. I mean, you're looking at any other team, you're looking at the number one pairing right there. Mikhail Sergachev, who in my opinion in a couple years is going to be, he's going to be maybe a Hedman with less, producing less. Or he might be a Hedman that produces the same amount as Hedman now. Then you've got Ryan McDonagh, who's just a staple of the NHL. He's been around forever, and he's been a solid, dependable defensive defenseman for as long as I can remember. There's not too many times he'll make a mistake, and when he does, he usually will get back. So that's a pretty solid number 2 right there. And then the third is the only place where it gets kind of iffy. Obviously, Eric Chernak is on the left side, and then on the right side, this is where things get shaky to me, is Luke Schenn. Now, Luke Schenn is a Stanley Cup champion, but Luke Schenn, you know what? He's better than me. We'll put it that way. He's better than me at hockey. I think in today's NHL, Luke Schenn is a little too big. He's a little too slow. He's a little too rough and tumble, and he's not skilled enough, I think, with the puck. That being said, it works. It works for the third defensive pairing. But something I would like to see is Cal Foote. Now, I've been hearing a lot about Cal Foote over the last, couple years. I'd like to see what he can do. I haven't seen him do anything in the NHL level yet. He hasn't played, I don't believe. I'd like to see Cal Foote, make an appearance and let's see what he can do with Chernak. And then in goal, I feel like this is going to be probably one of the most obvious. We've got Vasi taking the number 1 spot, and then we've got Curtis McElhinney right now is the main option for a backup goalie. I think I like it. I still think that's one of the better tandems in the league. I'm excited to see what they can do. I'm interested to see how the 56-game season is split between those two. I think it'll still probably be a majority on Vasi, but I wouldn't mind seeing more of a split than normal, because Vasi usually plays, I think, like 50 of the 80 games, maybe more. I wouldn't mind seeing that go down a little bit percentage-wise, and I think we will, because this is going to be a much more compact schedule. There's going to be back-to-backs. There's going to be more back-to-backs than normal. I think we'll see McElhinney a lot more. And that's what the lineup looks like. I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty excited. It's basically the same. It's basically the same as the team that just won this hat. Like, come on. That's how the team's looking. I don't know what the new schedule is. I know the first 2 games are at home against Chicago, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. And then the next 2 games were supposed to be, I don't remember which day. I think it was Sunday and Tuesday. But they were supposed to be at home against Dallas, and some news just came out today that Dallas, 7 or 8 people from the org have tested positive for COVID, so they have to start quarantining, and because it's a 2-week quarantine, they're not going to be ready to go for next weekend for the games. So the schedule is going to be moved around a little bit. I'm sure they'll figure that out soon. But right now, we got 2 games against Chicago, one on Wednesday, one on Friday this week, and man, I'm excited. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And also, down in the description box is a little link that will take you to the Fifth Line Podcasts page. This is a podcast that I have with my friends Nick, Ben, and Eric. Nick is a Sens fan, Ben is a Canadiens fan, and Eric is a New York Islanders fan. So if you want to hear us talk about the entire league and other hockey things, please go over and check that out. Get hype, everybody. NHL's back.